Extra Time. We have Craig, Nedum and Shaka here with us.
Yep, Shaka, come on.
Yeah, Shaka.
Attention.
Get with the picture. Get with the programme, Shaka.
I was going to send in a tweet. I was going to ask my own question.
Was it about your dress sense?
Did Nedum say vice versa during the show?
Was that your question for Extra Time?
Yeah.
And what if he did?
Important. I'd just like to know how he pronounced it.
Vice versa.
What did you say?
Vice versa. Vice versa. Vice versa.
Vice versa.
Right.
That's close
Vice
enough.
versa.
I get hammered. I say vice versa, and Dan hammers me for it.
No, I don't think it's for
Hammers
that,
me.
Shaq.
Hang on now, is it?
It's for that.
Is it?
I thought it was just vice versa.
Well, that's how it's come, but if you actually look at the word, it's probably Latin, right?
Listen, none of us, there's four of us on camera.
Yes, it is.
There's four of us on camera and not one of us is a commentator. Only commentators.
I want to. Okay, finish your thought. It's Latin, so how is it pronounced?
Shaq, sorry, this is not Derek Rayland. You know, this is a commentator's dream.
This is important to me, Craig.
Between that,
This
train
is
spotting,
important.
taking pictures of trains, hovering around wearing an anorak.
This is important stuff.
Pronunciation. It's commentators.
I don't speak Latin, but my Italian's not bad. And if it is from Latin, maybe it's something like viceversa.
I was learning Spanish in the car the other day.
Oh,
Well, it was on the way in, so it was only 20 minutes.
what did you learn?
Yes.
What?
I learned how you turn around the nouns
Okay.
from the start of the word
Okay.
to the end of the word.
I understand what you're saying.
So,
Like I show.
moral would be morale.
Oh, okay.
So you turn it around.
Well, there you go. So now, next time you've got a question, Shaka,
verb.
don't worry about Derek Ray.
Verb.
Just call Craig.
S. I've learned that S is S.
Yeah. Speaking of train spotters,
I did all right in this time.
Anyway, I'm thinking about doing it. I'm thinking about taking the plunge, Shaq, and learning Spanish.
Craig is all in on La Liga
Oh,
this
yeah?
season. He's even learning Spanish.
No, I was going to do it years ago, but I never got. Shaq said Shaq was going to try it, and he dumped it as well.
Vale la pena.
yeah,
That's all
I
I'll say.
started,
It's
but
worth
I
it.
failed.
Well, because I don't know the Spanish words I know up to now are Dos San Miguel, por favor.
Well, that's where you're going wrong because there are better brands of cerveza out there. Anyway, let's get to some of your questions, shall we? For Craig, can Conte and Daniel Levy coexist, even with the presence of Fabio Paratici? How long can you see this partnership lasting?
About as long as all the boys it would last when this name was touted around, before he was even secured in the job. We all said, well, we understand why Tottenham would go for Conte or go for a manager of, you know, that quality. But why would he go into a club that has been renowned for years for being very strict with their budget and managing a tight ship, particularly the ownership of Joe Lewis and the stewardship of Daniel Levy. So I don't see how, and of course the rhetoric in the last 7 days or so isn't good. So, and if they get a pasting at Man City at the weekend, things are not going to go away. So I don't see it lasting at the moment. I don't know how long it's going to last. Maybe the summer.
We should take bets here on FC.
Maybe not even the summer.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Just don't know.
Shaka, what signings should Man United make in the summer?
What sign? That's a very good question. I think United need a very good defensive midfielder. Declan Rice, of course, has been bandied about, though David Moyes is trying to put everybody off in terms of price. And I think they need a true out-and-out number 9. Erling Haaland fits that bill. Whether they are even in Team Haaland's thinking is I don't know. But if we say 2 signings, those are the 2 I'd go for in an ideal world.
Okay, next question for you, Nedum. Best defender right now in the top 3, Van Dijk, Diaz or Thiago Silva?
I would go Van Dijk, Diaz and Thiago Silva. I do it in that order because I've seen Van Dijk play recently, and there was a point where I think Lautaro Martinez had him 1v1 in midweek in the Champions League, and he was almost scared to run at him. So I thought, well, that's kind of making him, he's got that sort of all around him at the minute. And for Diaz, I think defends very, very well. And I think that those two have over Thiago Silva is the fact they're a lot younger. So for me, that's the way I do it. That's the 1, 2, 3.
Who has been the worst summer signing so far, Craig? Messi, Ronaldo, Grealish or Lukaku? You have to rank them.
Holy smokes.
Thought I'd give you an easy one.
So, Messi was a free, if there is such a thing, with huge salary. Ronaldo's scored goals. It's not Ronaldo, because he has scored goals, although he had a blemish up until the Brighton game. Grealish hasn't done a lot. Lukaku gave that interview and then he's just gone off the boil. Don't know. Do I need to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm really up high, as I'm really making friends with Chelsea at the moment, I'll go Lukaku, Grealish, Messi, Ronaldo.
All right.
Lukaku and Grealish being
The worst.
and then Messi, not the Messi as we know.
I don't think you're in for a quiet weekend again.
I'm not mentioning the Club World Cup.
You didn't. Well, you forgot about that.
I'm not mentioning that. I just.
You just maybe you would have changed.
But these
your
are all
mind
great.
then
These
with
are all
Lukaku.
great. These are all great players. It's just I don't.
All right, it was a tough question.
They're all great players. They're all very good players. They're not all great players.
Nedum, with your promising future in track, there must have been very few strikers who gave you problems with pace. Who were the quickest strikers you ever faced?
The quickest striker was Thierry Henry. And I remember there was a point where I was actually playing right back. It was at Highbury and the ball got played down the channel. I thought I was just dealing with it because I had Pires. Before you know it, you just see this guy come whizzing down the sidelines, and before you know it, I'm 1v1 with Henry in the corner again, and it was truly terrifying at the age of 18. But I think he was probably the quickest, and we can all think of highlights when he's run exceptionally fast, especially that one against Jamie Carragher at Anfield, where he basically ran off the field to get round him. So yeah, I'd probably say him, but there are a few others, but he's definitely the one which you have to give a lot of credit to from the get-go, and you have to try and play him differently because otherwise you'll just get beaten.
Yeah, there's no point chasing him. Did you ever play against Nedum? I don't know if this was a crossover of ages for you. Did you ever play against Craig Bellamy?
Yeah, he was on my team as well.
he was
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, fella's really fast.
He's fast.
So I played with Rio Ferdinand as well. But one of my biggest memories of Rio, just before he left United, was when Craig Bellamy had him basically swimming, trying to catch him at Old Trafford. It was a game which I think United won, and he just couldn't get anywhere near him. And I thought, wow, this is blowing my mind. But yeah, I played with Craig. Yeah, he was exceptionally fast indeed.
So even when he was in his slightly younger days, but when he might even have been faster, I don't know if he was. When he was at Coventry, we played them at Highfield Road back in the day when Coventry won the Premier League, and I got caught. I was marking the edge of I was on the edge of the box for one of our attacking corners, and it got headed out down the left-hand side, and somehow I got caught one-on-one with him, and he looked at me, and he obviously knew I was a little bit more experienced and certainly not as quick. He looked at me and knocked it 20 yards past me on the left-hand channel over by the dugouts and just sprinted, and I was like the same thing as Nedum. I was running in my arms. I couldn't do any more. And by the time this is true, by the time I got to where Bellamy was and he'd put a cross in, I had already signalled to the bench that my hamstring had gone. I completely obliterated my hamstring. He's just so quick.
He should take the blame for that.
Should take the blame for it. I mean, he must have been. I'm guessing at the time he was about 22, 23, and I was about 30, and he just looked at me and almost smiled and went, "Catch me now, Lado."
Oh my
God, he could run. Bellamy could run, and I could. Well, to be honest, I wasn't the quickest. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't.
Right, but not this level.
I mean, that's a different.
That's fair enough.
That's just not fair.
Okay.
It's not fair.
No, it's not fair, and especially
Shouldn't be
when you're
allowed.
getting injured trying to catch them. Shaka,
Hamstring.
what was it like defending a free kick against Beckham? Was he the best at it, in your opinion, or were there others that were more difficult to save?
Beckham was incredible. Probably the best free kick taker I played against, and albeit on the back end of his career, so he wasn't as prolific, was Gianfranco Zola, who I think at his best in Serie A was scoring 1 and 3. Beckham was difficult from around for anywhere between 25 and 30 yards because he could get it up and down. If it was closer into the box, 20 yards out, he generally didn't go over the wall. He would try to beat you with bend on the keeper's side, so you just had to be careful not to cheat. But you know, as I say, a little further out, he was tough to play against. Zola, anywhere from the edge of the box to 30 yards, he could do whatever the hell he wanted with the ball. He was scary.
I played with a guy. I played with a guy that I think was better than both of them, and that's gone some because I played with Zola and he was terrific. Obviously, David Beckham I played against, but there's a guy at Celtic that came to Celtic about a year or so before I left called Lubomir Moravcik. Anybody who's followed Scottish football or Celtic will know this. He was a Slovakian international and was an unbelievable talent, but somehow had ended up at Duisburg in the second division in Germany. I don't know why, he broke his leg, but Celtic fans. The reason I say he was better, because he was so technically gifted that he could take the free kicks and the corners as well with both feet, which none of these other two could do. And I mean this in all sincerity. He could whip free kicks in the top corner or whip corner kicks in from the right and left side with both the right and the left foot as accurately, as fast and as pacey that you didn't know. Okay, and that's very unusual. So you don't know what.
Right, and you talk about his technique and how he was a very technical player, but did still a player like him have to practice?
And he was a terrific talent, and the Celtic fans will tell you that.
Right.
I mean, they still love him there. I mean, it's just, he got plucked because Joseph Venglos knew of him, came from the same country. I don't know if he worked. I think he worked at it. I don't remember, but he was just so naturally talented. And I played with the other guys, and again, magnificent. But he could do it with both. It was incredible. When he arrived at training at Celtic, I remember turning to Big Alan Stubbs and Henrik Larsson and all the boys going, how the hell has this guy been at Duisburg in Germany? What the hell has he been doing? Because that's how good he was.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Even if it was for that alone, just the corners and the free kicks, it would have probably been worth it, right?
And you come off the bench.
We love you.
You ask Celtic fans about him, he was incredible.
All right, well, I'll whip around and ask all of you this one. Nedum, what's the most memorable derby you've been a part of?
One for a positive, one for a negative. The positive was in 2009, I think it was, or 2008. It was at Old Trafford. It was to commemorate the Munich disaster. We had like one-off kits and stuff, and it was a day basically where we, as City, were supposed to just go there and just be rolled over because it was such an emotional day for United. We ended up winning 2-1. It's the first time we won at Old Trafford in decades. So that one was particularly special. But then the other one, unfortunately, just for balance, was losing 5-1 away at Newcastle when I was playing at Sunderland. So yeah, those are probably two of my most memorable derbies for two completely different reasons.
Shaka?
Yeah, the Tyne-Wear derby was something special. My time up in the northeast. I actually played. I'm trying to remember if I played or if I was on the bench when Sunderland got promoted. They didn't allow away fans. They didn't allow Sunderland fans at St James's Park, and they didn't allow any Newcastle fans to go to Sunderland. And that was weird. Let me tell you something. That was. For what those games were when they allowed fans in, compared to what they were when there were no away fans, it was an awful environment. And fans, you really got to understand how fans make those games. because when fans are in, even the game took on a totally different kind of animosity about them, and those were special.
I'm conflicted a little bit. Was quite lucky. London derby, Chelsea Arsenal 3-3. I remember. Played in the Midlands derby, East Midlands, Forest against Forest and against Leicester. I suppose it would come down to England Scotland.
Right.
Particularly, I mean, I played against England 3 or 4 times, but I think the game at Wembley when Don Hutchinson scored, has he mentioned that?
No, never.
When we took a Scotland team down to Wembley, won 1-0, and Don scored a great goal at back post. Or Rangers Celtic, you know, great 97-98 season when we beat Rangers 2-0 at Celtic Park. That was, so yeah, lots of
memorable ones.
Lots of memorable derbies. The East Midlands one against Forest wasn't so memorable, we got beat, but yeah, actually the East Midlands derby is quite a big derby. People don't realise. Well, not outside East Midlands, it's not.
Right. No, it's interesting when you say it, because I remember, since we've been talking about him today, I interviewed Thierry Henry,
right,
and we were talking to him about El Clasico,
right,
and Real Madrid and Barcelona, but all he wanted to talk about on that question was the North London derby, just saying the intensity in that.
Oh, Arsenal Tottenham.
Yeah, and obviously that's more of a derby.
Not now.
Not now, but yeah.
Yes, certainly.
That's where he took the conversation. So it is interesting when you hear the players talk.
Did you
about
go,
it.
don't talk nonsense? Somebody said, don't talk nonsense. A classic.
I wasn't going to say that. No.
Don mentioned that goal that he scored?
Not once. He also didn't mention yesterday that all the amount of games he had to watch, Shaka.
Well,
you know, you think apparently he had to watch every single Europa League game. And how many goals was it, Shaka? 53 goals?
53 goals. 53
Don watched them all. Don watched all.
Watched every single kick of every single game.
Well, with the amount of kids he's got and kids on the way, there's no way he can afford that many screens.
But he can afford to be staying up all night.
He's going to have to be selling some of those screens for diapers. Trust me.
Don has got a baby on the way, another baby on the way. All right, Shaka, last question.
1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to need 2 hands soon, isn't he? 7.
The most important question of all. If given a choice, who will you delegate to do your power ranking while you're away on vacation?
I would give it to Don Hutchinson. He does player power rankings, and I think it'd be a seamless transition.
Shaq, I was up. Shaq, there's one job that I was really up for as well.
No, you are not, Greg. You are not.
All right, do Shaka's power rankings or go and join the boys on Football Americas?
I like the boys on Football America.
I love the boys on Football Americas.
Yeah, doesn't mean I'll have to. It's not in my. Let me check the small print in my contract.
You can catch Football Americas twice a week on ESPN.
Listen, his power rankings can't be difficult.
Shaka's.
Cut and paste.
Well, everybody's always complaining about them.
Here you've got Rangers in this week, Shaq.
All right.
Yes.
Shaka, please can we challenge Craig to do it next week?
No. As he said, no. Listen to the man. I'm busy.
He just wants to keep his friendship with you.
I'll tell you what, Kate, in a couple of weeks, I may not be available to do the power rankings. We have a couple of weeks to decide.
Are you having another dummy run for your trip to Trinidad and Tobago? Where you can't get on a flight again? Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's not meant to be, Shaq.
Now, once he does get on that flight, let's see who's doing those power rankings.
It's meant to be.
Let's see what everyone's got to say.
No, that's twice. That's 2 attempts you've made to get on a flight to leave the United States, and it's not happened. What's that telling you?
Third time lucky. Third time to
Third time lucky. There you go. Perfect, touche. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your questions. Be sure to catch us every single day with all the latest on ESPN FC.